want to make sure I look pretty with my hat. So we've done the bread test, and as I'm sure you'll all agree, that was a wonderful success. So now, what Albert's going to do is he's going to cook for us, aren't you?
I'm going to cook some bread for you, but before I cook some bread, what must I do now? How do you cook for us? I'm going to make some bread. I'm going to show you how to make bread. Alright, that's the thing I'm going to do. But before I do that, I like to talk about David Cameron because I like David Cameron. I like him very much indeed. I mean, I never even stopped sleeping, stopped dreaming about him. One, because he's got wine lips. Because the other thing is that he kept on talking about the big society. And I like the big society because it's David Cameron's invention. Besides the big society of David Cameron, they say the big society has got rules. You've got to mix. You've got to mix with other people. You must be able to feel the force of the Equality Act. And you have to have guts. Because to live in Birmingham is a real shit place, but you have to have guts to live in Birmingham. But if you make bread, you also have requirements. You have ingredients to make bread. And I'm going to show you now the parallels between the big society and bread. To make bread, you need flour, a little bit of that. Flour. You need some yeast. Not the yeast you go to the factory for. That's a different kind of yeast. You need some yeast. And you need some salt. You need some salt, and then you need water, and that's really all you need to make bread. But the big society says we have to mix. Now I have a problem with mixing. Really a big problem with mixing because I don't even like white people. Can you imagine me mixing with white people? So, but you have to mix. And the other thing when you make your bread, your dough, you make your dough, your hands become very sticky like this, very sticky. That's a lesson for us all in this country. You have to bear in mind that we have to stick together as a nation because we're under threat. Under threat from the Polish because they want our jobs. We have to stick together because if Prince Philip dies, we're going to have nobody that's going to tell gash like him and make political folk like that. And the other reason we have to stick together is the French wants our country. And David Cameron goes and he signs every treaty that you can get. And he just signs the country away and gives us pound land because that's all we can afford. As if we can't have anything else. So that's part of the process, is that you have to stick together, you have to stick together because you're mixing your dough and you have to stick. And you have to always feel the consistency because you need to know whether it's the right consistency because you don't want to end up with a hard lump. I mean, I can do a lot with a hard lump. I'm not being suggestive here, but I know what I can do with a hard lump.
You are being suggestive, Albert.
But I know what makes me rise to the occasion with my hard lump and all. Some of us have to use blue pills for that, which I feel very sorry for you if you have to do that because it's a sad state of affairs.
Okay, so if when we watch cookery programs, obviously you've got Nigella, and she makes it sexy, and Albert was making me a bit moist there, just talking about hard lumps. So what are you doing now, Albert? You put water in there as well.
I'm mixing the dough, and my hands are sticky because we're reminded of the Polish and Prince Philip and the French wanting our country.
Did the Polish make your hands sticky, Albert?
No, the Polish want our jobs. They want the country to want our jobs. And, and we have to stick together really because it's important, and when you come from Africa, you really understand the importance of sticking together because you come here running away from black countries. to this black country. Oh my God, it's a different black country here. They speak in foreign like me in this black country. But you have to stick together because you've got nobody really when you come from a black country other than just yourself and other blacks. Not the ones that live in hands with, those are different blacks. and then when your hands are sticky like this, you knead your dough and you knead your dough and you keep kneading your dough until it becomes, your hands becomes clean. And your dough becomes...
They look very clean there, Albert.
It will become clean, and then your hands, the stickiness goes away, almost like bubble gum. Has anybody ever chewed bubble gum? It comes smooth like... Who was ever at school and used to stick bubble gum into one another's hair? Especially the child in front of you that you don't like, it always brings better lunch than you and have more money. So you rub bubble gum into their hair, just spiteful. So that's
He's a dangerous man, Albert. He just goes around putting...
What has been happening to me?
No one can put bubble gum in your hair, Albert.
Well, my mother she bullied me, she used to do that. I used to have an afro,
I'd love to see you with an
And I had
afro.
a big afro comb, like those big afro combs.
Did you leave it in there?
I used to sleep with it, and she used to say, if you don't cut that hair, I'll put bubble gum in your hair. So I never slept because I was too scared that someone was going to come into my hair and put bubble gum into my hair. And that's why I know bubble gum works. If you want to put the fear of the living daylights in somebody, tell them to put bubble gum in your hair.
Yeah, so we've learned something there. So a lot of people are scared of international terrorists. You should be a lot more worried about bubble gum. Tell us more.
Well, no. I'm talking about, can you see my hands becoming clean and the stickiness is going away?
Yeah, it still looks very clean now.
Well, the stickiness is going away. So we are sticking together. We're becoming a cohesive mess now. I mean, that's what David Cameron likes. The Conservative Party wants us to be a cohesive mess.
Well, they also, obviously, when you came over as an immigrant, they want to put caps on as well.
Oh, God, don't even talk about putting a cap. The man, I never voted in my life. Never. They never wanted me to vote in the black countries I come from. So I come here and they say, you're living in a democracy now. You can vote. And I said, what is voting? They said, no, you choose somebody to represent you. It's a democracy. I said, who do I choose? They said, all these people there. And I chose David Cameron. They said, his name's David Cameron. But the reason I chose him really because he's got those lips that... Does anybody ever watch television? Do you remember Keith Floyd? When Keith Floyd used to cook and he was on the...
I want to hear more about David Cameron's lips. We all want to hear more about it.
When Keith Floyd cooked and he was on the piss always, his lips was always wet. Those narrow lips that's always wet. Now that I associate with wine lips. And David Cameron had wine lips. And it reminded me. So I thought, well, I like Floyd. I like what Floyd does. So this man might be the same. So I voted for him. But he disappointed me, seriously disappointed me so badly. What he did, he was hardly ever in office. And then he came and he said he wants to put a cap on all immigrants coming into the country. I mean, I don't even like wearing a cap. I think that's discrimination. But I had to, because I voted for him. They said, well, you can't get rid of him because in Africa we just put you out. So you go. We don't like you. So we have to be with him now for the next, how many years?
Year and a half.
Another year.
Not like you counting up.
Well, there's not much to replace him with, Can you add Peter Mandelson with his Brazilian cousin?
I don't think you say. It's not. And you don't follow politics much, do you?
I'm just imagining Peter Mandelson and his Brazilian running the country. I mean, really, or...
So instead of looking at policies and things like that, you mostly just look at people's lips.
I look at people's lips. I look at what they wear. Oh yes, I do, because I like suits, I don't really like suits because my mother bullied me to wear suits, so I don't like suits. But I like what suits does to me because when people wear suits, they just exude such power. And they've got such power over me, men in suits. Not because I like men, just because they've got power over me. And then I look at these men in suits and I think, well, with the lips and the suits and all that and the other, I can live with you. You're nice. The only thing is sometimes I look at them and I think, oh God, what will happen if, one night with you. We'll talk about that.
So tell us what's going on now, Albert.
Now the bread, can you see my hand is now no longer sticky? So
Yeah.
we don't need Prince Philip, we don't need the Polish.
Also,
We've proven to ourselves that we can be a standalone country. We don't need the French. We can keep Poland, they can take the country. Well, it was given away anyway. So your dough becomes quite sticky. And when it's like this, it reminds me really of this nice smoothness. Like the Church of England. They like to tell us how smooth we are. We're smooth operators. Because they want to remind us that we're not as immoral as we think we are. So they say that we're smooth and then you leave your bread to prove. Now I did say to you a little bit about the bread. If you haven't got yeast in your bread, it won't rise to the occasion. We did talk about hard lumps there, it won't rise to the occasion, but when it does rise to the occasion, you just leave it to rest now. That's what the Church of England always says. Who goes to church? Who goes to the Church of England anyway? They always say, just leave everything to rest. It will sort itself out. Like when you go, if you have a problem and you ever go to the Citizens Advice Bureau or whatever, those nice white ladies, who've got nothing else to do but mind other people's business, will say to you, leave it with me, I'll get back to you. So I've always associated middle-class ladies with this term, leave it with me, I'll get back to you. So this is what I do with the dough. I leave it there and it will get back to me. The church will also come back to me. And the dough will prove itself. And once the dough is proven, this is one I made before because I like Nigella. And I like all the TV chefs. This is one I made before.
just keep talking, Albert. Don't
And
carry on.
I've made this before, so that's when the thing is there. Now we shape the bread. And when you shape your bread, you shape it really very tight. You shape it tight because you like to have a tight shape.
Would you like your
But
Chinese hat?
I'm reminded of shaping bread. Of course, one real thing that I am reminded about shaping bread really is we shape people. We send thugs to jail with the view that we'll shape them to be better people and they'll change. They never do because they have to survive. Or we take chavs and we give them asbos and we tell them we love them. Or we take MPs like David Cameron and we put them in Parliament and we say to them, fiddle with the books, we don't mind, because it's
We do mind, Albert.
It's our money, but we don't talk about it anyway. We just say that they have to live and represent that. So that's what you do, you shape your bread. And once your bread is shaped, you leave your bread just there to prove.
When you're shaping it, can you draw things in it?
You can draw anything in it. I mean, you can make fancy bread, or you can just make a plain vanilla loaf, I don't know who likes
No, can you draw like a picture in it?
I can. I could sort of make a picture here of...
What I want to know is, can I draw a penis in your bread?
I don't know, Alex, that's a bit suggestive, but you can do anything really.
It is a bit suggestive, that's right, but you were talking about hard lumps a moment ago, so...
Well, yeah,
I didn't think you'd mind.
But, well, I've made vagina bread before.
You have made... tell us about the bread on the ropes.
Oh, those are all...
And the vagina bread, because...
The vagina bread is really disgusting. Firstly...
Albert spreads for sale as well if anyone would like some.
Can I tell you, when they came to ask me to do the commission for the vagina bread for them, they were very embarrassed to approach me. And they said, would you be able to do something a bit extraordinary? I said, oh, anytime, anything. And they said to me, it's a bit rude. I said, well, what is so embarrassing and rude? No, we'd like you to make penis-shaped and vagina-shaped bread. I said, no problem, give me some time, I'll think about it and I'll work it. And I made a sample for them. Really, I made a sample. Alex has got it there. I made a sample and of what I thought is a vagina. And I folded it up nicely and it was resting over there. And I thought, well, what is the vagina? So I thought, well, I'll make some holes in it and I'll put the clitoris there just specially. And I put the clitoris there for special effect, little holes.
I've just realised you're actually making vagina bread.
Yes, and then...
I really wish I never asked now.
And then I made penis-shaped bread. So I made the penis-shaped bread and I thought, well...
Is it easier to mould penis-shaped bread than to try and draw one in the...
Well, it depends...
Because I'm trying to draw one now and it's not really working.
It depends on what frame of mind you're in. So I thought I'll make penis-shaped bread, and so I made it, and I'll come and show you now what it looks like. You know, and then you can decide for yourself which is better. So anyway, there was this clitoris-shaped bread, and I put the clitoris on for special effect. And I'm going to come and show you now, seriously. So this is what I did. And I made this for them, you know. A graphic representation of what I think is a penis and a vagina. And let's see there, I mean, use your imagination. I mean, don't we always have to use our imagination when we do anything? I do. There it is. But it didn't end there with the commission. I nearly lost the commission because I sent them a picture and I sent it to them. And the woman nearly fainted and sent me an email to say, oh my God, that's not what we wanted. Because there's going to be children at this event, it's too graphic. I said, but you asked me to make vagina and penis-shaped bread, and now you say it's too graphic. So she sent me just an ordinary, plain vanilla picture of how she could have done it herself. A triangular-shaped piece of bread. I did for effect put raisins into it, made it like a hot cross bun, put raisins in it and put stripe across there just to give that effect. And then it looked quite nice because, you know, the raisins sort of speckled it, like each vagina has got its own character.
You could have I don't know, do you use basil? You could have sprinkled some herbs on and they could have been pubes.
Well, I could have, but I mean, so the speckles, because the raisins, you can't control where the raisins fall, you know, so it was just there. And they were very happy and they paid me handsomely.
So are you making a triangle one now?
No, I'm not making a triangle one. I'm just saying, so please be very careful what you tell people you do with bread, because you'll end up making vagina-shaped bread against your will and lose commissions because people do that. But once your bread is shaped, and your bread is approved, and then you bake it. And that's the thing about baking bread. But I'm not going to give the secret away until... I think we should take a break now. Would you like
Yeah.
Because I'll finish the bread making process after we have a break. And then of course we're going to have Lizzie to do proper stand-up, because this is not stand-up. We came here for a stand-up show. Lizzie's going to do a proper stand-up set. We're making bread. So we're going to have a break. It's okay, Alex, we'll have a break.
It's your show, Albert.
No, I'm just... Let's have a break, and then come back and get Lizzie to do that, and then I'll finish off the whole story about the bread. Because we'll move on from the vagina bread now, that's different. And I'm baking some bread. I don't know, does anybody want to smell the waft of bread coming through? So, then we'll break bread, you know. Mind you, being a good Catholic or good Anglican, you know, you